Hello there and welcome to VG Nix or VG Nicole's, whatever you want to call me, tutorial on how to make a nuclear reactor and hook it up to your teleporter. The reason why I do this is because I don't like solar arrays, and that is what all the other tutorials use when it comes to teleporters. They are way too big of an investment, really, to make a bunch of them. If you want to make like one or two, then go ahead. But if you want to make more than two, then you're probably going to be working at it for a little while. It's a pretty big investment. I built the nuclear reactor, the safe one, straight from the Tekkit wiki, which is, I'll link it at the bottom, in case you don't want to listen to my voice, explaining how to do this really basic thing. But, I just wanted to show people how I make the reactor and how I hook it up to my teleporters. What we're going to need is obviously the reactor chamber and the nuclear reactor itself. This is really easy to make, and it's almost foolproof, just as long as you don't screw it up. It's really safe, and they say it's guaranteed not to explode. So I mean, it's not even like the solar arrays are any safer than the nuclear reactor in any way. So first we put down our nuclear reactor. If you guys are unfamiliar with it, if you right click on it, you can see it's a 3x6 box. It's a rectangle, actually. That's where you're supposed to put your uranium and your coolant in. This is really useless to you, as it is right now. That's why we use the reaction chambers. Oh, don't even listen to me. It's the morning. I can't talk. The reaction chambers, or the reactor chambers, actually add more blocks to the inside of the reactor. See? Well, yeah, here. There is more blocks. So we need the maximum amount of blocks in order to have, the maximum amount of uranium inside of it. And the coolant, of course. What's important also is that you can't have blocks touching it, like adjacent to the reactor, like that. That's bad. Retains heat, makes it more likely to overheat. And, we don't want it to overheat, because then that means that it'll shut down, and I mean, with our safety system we're going to install, it's going to shut down, otherwise it would explode. But you just, you want it to keep working right. So just be sure to keep this bottom square open, and that's pretty much all set up. If we look inside, all those boxes are ours to use. Just wonderful. Okay, so next we need to install the safety precautions, I guess we could call them. What we're going to need is the thermal monitor, some redstone, a redstone repeater, and a lever. There we go. What we're going to do is we're going to put the thermometer right on the reactor, so just right on this wall right here. What the thermal monitor does, I said meter, but what the thermal monitor does is that if the reactor hits 500 heat or 500 degrees, it sends out a redstone signal, or a current, I guess you could call it. Yeah, that's pretty much all it does. I mean, it's not even in order to shut it off. It's just, it sends out a current. So if you don't have this hooked up to anything, it's not going to shut off the reactor. It's just going to send out redstone current to nothing. So that's why we need to install all the other stuff. So we put down our repeater. Goodness. Our repeater, and we put down our 3 redstone. Oops, right here. And you just set it up exactly like this. Next we put down our lever. Just, put it on the block. And we will turn the reactor off. If the redstone's on, the reactor is off. Just remember that, so you don't screw it up. Keep it off, just, in safe measure, just because, let's say you're putting all this stuff in, and God knows, just keep it off. I really, I can't even come up with a reasonable explanation. It's just I'm so paranoid. I just keep that stuff off. Also, don't put anything in here for that same reason, because, if you put all your uranium in here and set it up right now, somebody runs over and flips off your switch, then it explodes within 10 seconds. So we want to be sure that the coolant system is installed as well. Other players, what they do is that they'll put, they'll put up a fancy setup of uranium, and then heat dispersers and ice and coolant. The way I do it is the same way the wiki tells you to do it, which is using like 48 uranium and a bunch of ice blocks. Because we want, we want to be able to have the ice blocks continually going into the reactor, or else it'll just melt and run out of ice and run out of coolant and it'll explode. We want a constant supply of ice coming in. So what we need is we need pneumatic tubes. We need energy condensers. We need energy collectors. The wiki tells you to use Mark 1s, but I'm assuming because, you're building a nuke, that you're at a point where you can easily produce Mark 3s. I mean, I really don't know how you can make this whole thing without using Mark 3s. It would take a really long time. You should always prioritize getting Mark 3s, I think, set up for your energy condenser flower, or whatever they call it, because that just makes your life a lot easier. So you get your Mark 3s, you get your timer, and then you need a filter. 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 Alright. And we need a wrench. Okay. So we set up our pneumatic tubes hooking up to the back of the reactor. I mean, you can hook it up wherever you want. It really doesn't matter. Next, we put down our filter. Make sure the big hole is facing towards our energy condenser, and the little hole is facing towards the pneumatic tubes, or else it's not going to work. We put down our condenser, and we put down our collectors. Now, because you're using, the wiki tells you to use 2, just like this, side by side to the condenser. Because you're using Mark 3s and the wiki tells you to use Mark 1s, you probably are able just to use one Mark 3, but I'm paranoid, so I always put down 2 just in case, to make sure the ice is replicating fast enough. Now we need to get our ice block. We need to put it into our condenser, and as you can see, it fills up really, really quick. Now don't put down your timer yet. Your timer is the thing that's going to make, send a redstone current to this and send out ice to our reactor. Firstly we need to put our uranium into the nuke. Now, this I think calls for like 48 uranium, like some ridiculous amount. So let's put it all in. Put it all in. Takes a lot. Takes a little bit. Making these is a pain too. I might, if anybody actually likes this video, and I might show how I make the mass amounts of uranium cells. I mean, it's not hard. It'd really only be for people who don't understand the game. Alright, so this is how we need to set it up. We have the bottom rows have to be separate. They cannot be touching at all, so it can't be like this. If it is touching, they'll overheat, and our ice won't really do anything. So now that we have that in order, we can get rid of this. We can put down our timer. Boop. And I always set it to like 2 seconds or 1 second. Like I said, I'm super paranoid, so I set it to 1 second to be sure that it fills up, replaces itself quickly enough. So there we go. It's all full up. That's exactly how it needs to look. Yeah, so that's pretty much set up pretty well. Next we need to hook it up to some, we have to actually collect the energy. So why don't we, I haven't turned it on yet, so we'll just keep it off. We'll get our HV cable, triple or quadruple insulated. We're gonna need our teleporter. This is what we're gonna hook it up to. We're gonna need a HV transformer. I actually should have just got that while I was at the cables. I need the MFSU. I need glass fiber cables. And I need a frequency transmitter. And I need some buttons. Boop. That looks like it's about it. If you're building this nuke, oops, it's nighttime. If you're building this nuke, you're going to want to build a building around it, and I mean like either basalt bricks or reinforced stone. I put reinforced stone floor with double walled basalt bricks, just in case somebody screwed with it. You know, one of my friends messed with it and there was an accident. I'm not even sure how well that would contain a blast, but I'm hoping it'd contain it pretty well. Like I said though, if you're gonna build a building around it, do not build it like this. Don't build it, don't build it so it just hits the top of it. Build it like one square above and one square to the right, because you don't want anything really touching that. I mean, it's pretty. We already have like levers and thermal monitors, and we're gonna have this HV cable, so we want to be sure that there's not a lot of things touching the sides. So we put down our HV cable. You can't just shift and right click. I don't know why, but it won't attach to the side of the nuclear reactor. So you just kind of block it up so it connects. Oh, we also need a wrench, by the way. Always have our handy dandy wrench. Then we hook up our transformer. The reason why we have a transformer is that we want to... The nuke creates extreme voltage. We want to be able to use high voltage. Like, I don't know of anything that uses extreme voltage and can work. So we have to use the HV cable, because the HV cable is the only cable that can take extreme voltage. And then we hook it up to our high voltage transformer, which will turn the extreme voltage into high voltage. We want these three circles to face towards the nuke and the HV cable. So we just go to this side and we right click with our wrench and it moves it over, see, to that side. So this is all set up, so what we need to do now is hook up the wire, the glass fiber cable, and we put down our MFSU. And now that the MFSU has been placed, we turn on our reactor. And you hear this like, oh crap, that wasn't good. Things like that happen. Let's try to fix it. Sorry guys. Basically, don't do that. It's not the best idea. Oh good, I have a bunch in here. Crap. This is one of the biggest issues with this stupid ice, is that it just refills right away. Alright, that's back to normal. So let's turn this back on. As you can see, the power's filling up, and this is going, there's green bars under the uranium, so that means that they are activated and they are working. And this will fill up pretty quick. I mean, it's getting pretty full right now. I think it's almost at like 10%. It holds, I think, yeah, I think it holds 1 million. Yeah. 1 million EU, or might be 10 million. Is that 10 million? Let me see. Let me figure out these zeros. Yeah, it might be 10 million. I don't know. I'm kind of, when there's no commas in it, I'm kind of dyslexic when it comes to numbers. That's pretty much set up. You can make this look a lot prettier by putting a building around it, having most of this covered up. Looking pretty good. So now the MFSU is working. We'll put our teleporter next to it, and we'll put down our buttons, our button, like so. Now, that's pretty much the basic setup that I use. Obviously, you need 2 reactors set up. You know, you have your second reactor set up wherever your second teleporter needs to be. And that could be hundreds or thousands of blocks away. However far away it is, there's actually an equation on the Tekkit wiki that tells you how much energy you're going to need for how far away you are, but it's going to need more energy the farther away you are from the actual other teleporter, teleporter A, we'll call it. For the sake of being short, I'm just going to set up the teleporter 2 meters to the left so you can see that it works. Next we use our frequency transmitter. We link it to teleporter A. We run all the way over to teleporter B and link it to that one. make sure both MFSUs are full, or at least mostly full, so that way you can get across, or else you'll be clicking the button and nothing will happen. And then we click our button and we teleport. So good. And as you can see, it uses just a little bit of energy because we're right next to the other one. One of the issues that I've come across is that if you put your teleporter B, let's say you put your teleporter A next to spawn and your teleporter B all the way over, somewhere else across the map, there might be glitches that happen. The button might get stuck. Just weird things happen. Your MFSU won't fill up because the reactor's not working, because blocks aren't rendered. You just want to put a world anchor. That's going to be my bottom line. You want to put a world anchor around here, around the nuclear reactor, to be sure that they're working when you're not around. Because, we don't want to leave our server and have everything just be screwed up. Also, something that's happened to me is that the teleporters just stop working for some reason. The world anchor should fix it, because I haven't had the problem since we put down the world anchor. But basically what I did to fix that is that you take off the teleporter with your wrench, always use your wrench, and then you take off the MFSU and you put them both back down, and you put your teleporter back down, and you have to reestablish connection. The frequency transmitter you used is pretty much always established with teleporter A. So you're in luck if teleporter B was the one that was down, because that means you just have to right click it and the link has been reestablished. If A's been down, then you're out of luck, because that means that you can't link teleporter to itself and you have to run all the way back to teleporter B, reestablish connection, hope to God it works. So that's pretty much it. That's how I fixed that problem with it not working, with it being a one-way teleporter anyway. I don't even know if I explained it. What happens is that you can teleport to one spot, but it won't teleport back to the other. So that's what the issue was. I was too rushing to it, or through it too fast. I want to be sure this video isn't too long. That's pretty much it. This is my first YouTube video. Yes, I'm a girl. Sorry if my voice is too high-pitched and obnoxious to you. Hopefully, if you have a problem with it, you find a video with a guy in it. But hope you like this video. Hope that it's useful to somebody. If people like it, then I'll make some more. If everyone's like, hey bro, you suck, then I'll be like, okay, and I won't make any more. So please leave comments, either negative or positive. I'm not really that hard to offend, so whatever you feel like. And thank you for watching, and have a wonderful day, and happy Minecrafting.